Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us for this industry partner program with Meldrum Horne and specific with Michael Horne. So before we get started, I want to give you a couple updates. The first is this industry partner program is designed to connect associate partners with our operators. If you've got any questions specifically, there is the chat function. There's also the QA. I'm going to, as we speak, drop a little link for the industry partner program itself. And you can click through and find the different categories of associate businesses that want to connect with you there. I'm going to turn this over to Aidan. Aidan is a board member to the CBAA and also a member of the Engagement and Advocacy Committee. So Aidan, if I could turn it to you to introduce Michael and walk us through this conversation on loss of license insurance. Thanks a lot.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us this morning. And it's my pleasure to introduce to you one of the CBAA industry partners from Meldrum Horne. Meldrum Horne is an employee benefit financial planning and insurance firm that's based in Ottawa. And presenting today is Michael Horne. And he hails from Northern Ontario, along with Bobby Orrs from Parry Sound, and now lives in Ottawa with his wife and two boys, I believe. He's one of the co-founders of Meldrum Horne, and it's been in operation for about 10 years and brings a wealth of experience with him and the partners at the firm. And as a high-level and competitive sports player, Michael appreciates the focus and discipline needed for building a successful client-based business. And his background is primarily in employee benefits and insurance management. He's been actively involved with the industry and community as a member of numerous advisory boards and was honored as one of Ottawa's top 40 under 40. So he brings a strategic vision to his work with clients, and he's especially known for his ability to understand his clients and to develop thoughtful solutions to their unique individual needs. And today he's going to be talking to us about something that's very specific to us as operators, and that is loss of license insurance. And his firm is uniquely positioned to assist all of us with our individual needs. So without further ado, I'll hand it over to Michael. Thank you.
Thank you for the introduction, Aidan and Anthony. Everyone, thank you for joining today. We've got the pleasure of going through the loss of license program. And so what I wanted to do is just kind of speak a bit about Meldrum Horne. So Aidan did a great overview. We're locally based in Ottawa, but we're licensed in just about every province across Canada. And we're benefit pension specialists. We look after about 300 companies, programs, including specialty insurance, and specifically today, the loss of license. So as far as what do we do outside of our normal workday, we review second opinion on benefit, group retirement, executive medical, and health spending accounts outside of the loss of license. This is my 22nd year specializing in this, and we've had the pleasure of working with CBAA for probably over 10 years. So it's been a great partnership. So really, for the purpose of today, wanted to go through the loss of license structure. Some of you may be familiar, some of this may be new, but the pilot loss of license is available on an individual operator basis, as well as a guaranteed issue as a group. And really, there's two components to this. It's a monthly benefit for temporary loss of your medical qualification, or permanent loss of medical qualification. So meaning you can no longer fly. So most of you right now likely have a long-term disability program through your group benefits plan. And what that policy does, it covers you in the event of being sick or injured. And typically it's going to pay you a monthly benefit after being off work for 4 to 6 months. The typical payout in that policy is around 66% of your monthly salary, and the duration is about a 5-year payout. So if I went off disabled today, the benefit will pay me for 5 years or until age 65. Now, why this is important, really right now, if you don't have a loss of license program in place, this would really be your de facto income replacement should something happen to you. So from a coverage amount, there's really two buckets. The first one on the left is the temporary loss of license, and the benefits are typically 2% of the permanent loss of the capital sum we're insuring. Alternatively, an insured person can choose a monthly benefit of up to 85% of their monthly earnings. So on that example, if I'm off disabled, and the benefit is $100,000, I'm going to receive 2% of that every month, similar to what I would receive in a long-term disability plan. The second piece is a permanent loss of the medical qualification, and you can get a capital sum of up to 5 times your earnings. So again, in that same example, if my income was $100,000 a year, my payout I could get would be up to $500,000, and that would be a lump sum payout. Now, from an application standpoint, the issue ages, we can underwrite up to the age of 64, currency in CAD or USD, and the policy terms are typically on a 3-year renewal. So the rates are set in, and every 3 years we review to see if the premium for that fixed amount goes up or down. And then the elimination period, you can basically pick different options specific to your policy. So if you remember when I spoke earlier about the long-term disability, you're typically going to be on a 4-month wait before you start receiving income. So for a lot of people, if they want to bridge that gap, maybe you go with a shorter waiting period on that so that you're not out of pocket and put in a tough position. Now, what's very important is the definition of disability. So everyone always hears about in the news, big bad insurance companies. I paid all this premium and then I go to make a claim and they deny me. So we want to make that very clear what the definitions are. So for the temporary, it means a prevention of the insured acting in any capacity for which he or she holds a license or certificate being temporarily suspended by the issuing authorities on medical basis. So that's for the short term. And basically it's the same definition for the permanent, but it's being permanently revoked or on a long-term basis. So that would be due to a major medical or accident that is preventing someone from flying. So from an underwriting standpoint, there's really two categories. So we know that in CBAA, there's a number of individual operators as well as groups. So for the individual operators, a copy of the medical exam may be required depending on the declarations in the application. And I'm going to show you what that application looks like in a second. And then from a group standpoint, depending on the size of the group, the medical underwriting can actually be waived at the discretion of the underwriter. So this is a big selling point. So picture someone's got an underlying medical condition or something they've been treated for in the past. As a group, we're not going to ask those questions, which is fantastic. Now, from an application form, any of the members or pilots that have gone through that wanted to investigate this, they always want to know what does that application look like. So at the top, it's basically a lot of your personal information, your employer, your salary, and then some of your flying details. So we want to know what type of flying are you doing, what type of aircraft, why are you looking at a policy like this? And then the second piece is a medical history. So there's going to be a number of medical questions, and it's either yes or no. Anything we say yes to, we just want a bit more description on that. And then the continuation of the medical questions, and then there's exceptional danger. So anyone that does any higher risk or what the insurance company considers higher risk, we want to know about that in advance, and that will be used as part of the underwriting, and then just a declaration on there. So what would a costing look like? So we ran out a couple scenarios for you just to show you. So on the left, pilot number 1, male, age 35, with 116,000 salary. So we're insuring the capital sum of $116,000. The annual premium is about $933 annually. And so what this program included was both a temporary disability. So this was going to pay him after 90 days of being off, and it's going to give him 2% of the 116,000. And then if he's still disabled at the end of the 12-month period, he will get a lump sum payout of 116,000. So pilot number 2, age 55, a bit of a higher salary at 192,000. His annual premium was about $4,000. Now, we always get the question, so what type of claims would be eligible? The major payouts or the typical payouts, what we would see would be accident related, where you would receive 100% payout. General illness, so heart attack, stroke, cancer, the typical big ones that we see. And then there's payouts for substance illness. So that would be alcohol, drugs related. And then the fourth bucket of the major payouts would be an undiagnosed illness. So something that's being investigated, they're not sure what it is, but you're not eligible to pass that medical for flight purposes. So you're still, they've taken away your ability to earn income. There is a partial payout in that case until they get the full diagnosis. So sample case again, a pilot flying commercially with a salary of about 200,000. The policy provides a lump sum capital benefit payout with a 12-month elimination period of 1 times earnings. So if he couldn't pass his medical, a 200,000 payout at the end of 12 months. And then during that first period of when the disability happened, he also gets a 2% capital sum for the temporary part starting after 90 days. And that's payable for 12 months. So the second piece, I would equate it to your disability coverage, where if you went off work, you're going to receive a monthly income stream of about $4,000 per month after that 3-month wait period. So keep in mind, there's 2 payouts here. There's one that is going to pay you a monthly benefit, and then if you're still off after that 12-month period, you're going to get a lump sum amount of money. So just to kind of close off here, the big question I would ask all the members is, why would you want to consider loss of license? So we do a lot of reflection on why people would want to insure a risk. So many of the health issues that would not affect the ability of a traditional workplace employee to continue working could very easily cause a pilot to temporarily or permanently lose his or her license and their ability to earn income, which is really your most important asset. So if that asset is removed out of the picture, to go and replace that income is going to be quite difficult. So that's why a program like this could come into play. So when I say a traditional worker, a lot of times for most disability policies, the insurance company wants you to go and do something else at your job or at your company. So because your role flying an aircraft is so specific, a lot of times that's not an option. So your ability to earn that same remuneration is limited. And the fact that a disability policy is going to pay you out for a certain period of time, you may not qualify for your company disability policy, but you could qualify for the loss of license. So I guess in closing, we insure a number of these programs across Canada. So if anyone does have questions or would like to receive more info, here's our contact information. Anthony and Aidan are making this presentation available to anyone. So happy to have a discussion with anyone that's looking to learn more about this type of program.
Thanks, Michael. I know maybe as we kind of kick things off, and I'd encourage folks, if you do have questions, there's the chat. I also dropped one into the QA, but maybe just for me, definitely tie it back to the loss of license. So really this insurance is focused on a pilot's ability to maintain their medical, in other words, a Category 1 medical.
Yes.
A question that I had is, from random occasions, I have had members who have been challenged with a TC medical. Is there an ability, in addition to the insurance coverage that you're provided, also just even renewing or getting back that medical? Is there, as part of this policy, some avenue or support that you can provide for that pilot, that individual, to regain their license or their medical, perhaps through insurance, whether it's lawyers or otherwise? Is there that type of support, or can you provide some insight in there?
Yeah, I think so. For people, obviously, you're in most jobs, someone losing their license, you've taken away everything. You've taken away their ability to earn income, pay your mortgage, make your car payments. So getting that individual back into the basically gainful employment, and as far as passing that medical, what this program can allow you to do is it's going to provide a cash injection, and certainly we can provide assistance for those members to seek out assistance, to go and kind of challenge some of these issues, and basically get them back to work sooner, faster. What I would equate this loss of license program to, and some of your members may be familiar with it, would be a critical illness policy. So they've got to meet a definition, and then once they hit that definition, a lump sum payout happens. And typically, similar in the loss of license, people are using that. They're using the payout of these policies, obviously to bridge cash flow, but they're also using it to go and get private treatment, to get quicker access to medical services, to get that help done. Certainly on that side, in one of the initial slides, I had executive medicals. So we do help facilitate a lot of that. And what that means, most Canadians know now, our Canadian medical system is a bit challenged right now. So we're sending and coordinating a lot more people throughout the country to get private services done, and that's where these payouts can get someone back to work, get them back earning quicker than just sitting in the queue, just kind of waiting. So we almost act as a bit of your advocate behind the scenes to hopefully get a better outcome.
And I agree with that. In a past life, we engaged with a private medical firm, and you definitely, so that point of being an advocate, and more specifically having a single point, a place to go to kind of get over that challenge, whatever it may be, is critical. So that's great. Another one I wanted to
Yeah.
kind of expand on is, you talked about the individual and the group categories. And it
Yes.
seemed that, well, one, the medical, that Cat 1 medical, is really sort of that determination point. But maybe can you go through, for the groups, the folks that are there thinking about that disability policy that they have, how does that compare, or how should they approach the thoughts to either pursue this in comparison to what they have today? What are some of the tips that you've got in that regard?
Yeah, great question. So really from a starting standpoint, I would say everyone should get a copy of their booklet. They would either have access through their HR department at their organization, or it's available probably on their smartphone if they have the mobile app. And really have an understanding. Everyone should know what their disability amount would be if something happened. And unfortunately, Anthony, we know a number of pilots, the remuneration can be quite generous in certain instances, and the group disability that's offered through your employer may only cover about half or less than half of your actual income. So I think from a starting point, that if I was a pilot, that's where I'd start. Step one, find out, if I became disabled tomorrow, what would I receive as a payout from my company disability plan? And then really that's a jumping off point to see how potentially the loss of license could supplement that. So we often do scenario planning, and my former business partner was a pilot, and so we do that similar training, similar planning in our own business. We map out the worst case scenario. So I would argue that For a pilot, even more specifically, your ability to earn income is definitely your most important asset. You want to make sure that's looked after. You insure your car, your motorcycle, your plane. This is something you're ensuring your kind of ability to earn, ability to save. So I think that's a good exercise. They're two separate programs. Your company disability is going to pay you a monthly benefit, and the loss of license is going to provide you a cash injection after a 12-month period. So a lump sum payout, which, as you know, when things go off the rails, having that access to funds to get help, to get back to work, or to cover off some of those obligations that all of us have every day, that those obligations do not go away. So putting money into that can certainly improve the situation.
Perfect. And I got a question that was sent as a direct text to my phone, but it was related to the upper limit. So the age I believe you'd used is 64, but maybe it's a
Yes.
query to, can you go beyond that? Is it something that you can consider now or maybe as a future practice? The reason why in many business aviation instances, if you're not tied to that 704, 703 world, if you're a pure play corporate operator, so long as you can hold a medical, in effect, regardless of your age, you're able to continue flying. So maybe as a future version, or can you talk about why 64 now, if that's the correct number, 65?
Yeah.
And is there the potential to perhaps expand that so long as that pilot, that individual maintains their category 1 medical throughout their career and is operating with that perhaps over 65?
Yeah, great question. And maybe I'll back it up. So I'll give you the reason why for the most part, it's 64. It's really because CPP pays a disability benefit at age 65. So it's actually government federally legislated. Now, not to say we can't go and make a special case for certain situations, and potentially in a group setting, we're going to have a better business case to be able to do that. But I would say if there is someone that does go beyond that, if they're still interested, let us take a look. We've bent the rules in the past, and if someone does fall into that category, we'll at least explore the option for them, recognizing that a lot of people are working beyond that. So the industry is trying to move beyond that kind of stick in the mud age 64. But yeah.
Okay, that explains it then. Yeah, that CPP component. Okay. Well, perfect. I'm going to take a quick look here, and so far everybody's fairly quiet in terms of the chat. I'll take a look at my phone here shortly. Aiden, you've come online. Perhaps a couple of words from you.
I just had a question with if we were to approach, let's say, if we're part of a group of pilots or part of a larger organization, what sort of benefit would there be in having a group policy as opposed to an individual policy in terms of the overall premiums? Is that is there a
Yeah.
significant benefit, or is it fairly minimal?
Yeah, so great question, Aiden. So on a group basis, there's two main benefits. The first one is obviously combined pricing. So you're benefiting from economies of scale. We're spreading that risk out over more people, more pilots. And the second one is the medical underwriting. So that's a big one where a lot of the questions that are going to be asked up front will not pertain in a group setting. So there's probably people that are going to be able to qualify for more coverage with less questions in a group setting than just doing it as an individual operator.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Perfect. Well, I'll take one quick look. Give it an opportunity while we plan it forward to see if the folks in want to either chat a question, QA a question. My phone just no, that was not a message, but yeah, I think it's an important discussion, and I'll certainly give with the time back that we have here. Maybe I'll go through a bit of a summary. I certainly want to take the time to thank each of you for joining, to Michael and the team at Meldrum Horne for participating. It's a great opportunity to kind of get an understanding of what services are available. I always say that, of course, our associate members are there to provide products and services to the operators. And to Michael, I know for those watching, Michael had a fire in the building, a small fire. And so talk about dealing through adversity. He's had an opportunity for us, committed to the mission. He's taken this call, and I guess this is the benefit of work remote, right, Michael? You can just take a call pretty
That's
much
right.
anywhere.
Yeah, I apologize. I'm in my car right now, but it's a better spot than my building, trust me.
So this is a good thing. So it's great and glad that you could join us. So perhaps Aidan, I'll turn to you for any final remarks.
I just wanted to iterate, Anthony, that thank you, Michael, for your time, and I saw that you left that final slide up there with your contact information. So I would encourage anyone who's looking to explore that to get in touch with you. And if there are any additional questions, they can either pass them through myself or Anthony or to you directly, Michael.
Okay, awesome. Well, again, appreciate everyone's time today. The fact that you joined on here today to learn more about protecting your income, I think is a great step in kind of financial planning, future planning. So, yeah, definitely reach out if you have questions, and we'll be happy to address as need be.
Perfect. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.